First at 4, breaking news about this dangerous stunt on I-94. We're going to tell you how the search for a suspect came to an end. Also breaking, another vaping crackdown. We're going to talk about the products the FDA is targeting now. Hey, Ben.
Sandra, we're seeing another day close to 50 degrees, and we'll do it again before the snow shows up. Find out how much we're expecting this weekend.
A member from the Detroit Youth Choir is trading in her sweater vest and now releasing her own music. I'll introduce you to the DYC rapper who now has a new album out.
Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Sandra Ali. That breaking news is out of Detroit, where police say the man wanted for doing donuts on I-94 has now turned himself in. Detroit police say Devin Kronk was part of a group of people who blocked traffic to spin out on the freeway last month. Kronk was allegedly driving a Camaro while people recorded the stunt. The group blocked traffic for up to 15 minutes. No one was hurt, but video showed the car getting dangerously close to bystanders. Kronk turned himself in today to the Detroit Detention Center. Coming up new at 5, we're going to take a look at the misdemeanor charges he's facing and also talk about his $100 cash bond. Students in Richmond were supposed to be back in school today, but a hacker demanding thousands of dollars shut down the entire school district. The district says it was a ransomware attack on several school servers. That attack impacted the use of phones, heating, classroom technology. Luckily, though, the superintendent says there is a silver lining.
The student information, and which is in PowerSchool, and the staff information, which is housed in AS400, is all on the countywide servers at the MISD. We're part of the consortium at the county, so none of that information was affected.
Richmond schools now plan to resume classes coming up on Monday. In Southfield, police are investigating after a 72-year-old man is hit and killed by a driver in an SUV. It happened this morning on Berg near 10 Mile Road, stopping traffic there for a while. Police say the driver in the SUV stayed in the area and cooperated. Right now, it's still not clear whether any charges will be filed. We're waiting to learn the identity of that 72-year-old victim. New video of a dangerous New Year's Eve celebration is now circulating online in spite of warnings about stray bullets. Take a look. This video was posted on Facebook. Now, we don't know where it was recorded, but it shows why so many Detroiters are forced to take cover each year. Coming up new at 5, you're going to hear from one family who actually has a safety plan in place for New Year's Eve and how Detroit police plan to address this video. More breaking news now, this time on the vaping epidemic. The Trump administration has issued a ban on most flavored e-cigarettes that are popular with teens. That plan announced today will prohibit fruit, candy, mint, and dessert flavors from small cartridge-based e-cigarettes, but menthol and tobacco-flavored vapes will still be allowed on the market. Flavored e-liquids for open-tank products that are mixed and then sold by vape shops will still be legal. It's a big change from President Trump's original plan to ban all flavors. It takes effect next month. Well, if you've been out there today and you're enjoying our winter warm-up, you are in luck because it's going to stick around a little while longer. Let's go ahead and get a check on the current conditions with meteorologist Ben Bailey. Hey, Ben.
Hey, Sandra. We had to trade the sunshine in to do this, but I think we get the better end of the bargain here. Almost 50 degrees down here in the South Zone right now. Monroe, Grosse Ile, both at 49 degrees, and the rest of the area not far behind. This is double digits better than what we were doing at 4 o'clock yesterday. This is going to change once we get into the weekend, but we do have one more day tomorrow with these mild temperatures. In fact, we're going to stay above 40 all the way through midnight tonight. And once the temperatures drop, we've got some snow headed in our direction. Find out if it's going to be enough to shovel into Saturday and Sunday. We'll look at that coming up in just a few minutes. Sandra.
All right. Thank you, Ben. Today, there are 14 Democrats vying to take on President Donald Trump in 2020. The only Hispanic candidate in the field has now dropped out. Former Housing Secretary Julian Castro announced he is suspending his campaign. And right now, the top 3 candidates in most polls continue to be former Vice President Joe Biden and Senators Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren. But candidates like South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg and Senator Amy Klobuchar are gaining ground in Iowa. That all-important first caucus is 1 month from tomorrow. Australia is in the middle of an emergency as deadly wildfires like this one you see right here continue to burn out of control. And in fact, it's expected to only get worse. Today, the U.S. Embassy warned American tourists should leave because of the extreme danger which is expected this weekend. Devin Skillian is in the newsroom now. And Devin, 10 million acres have already been destroyed.
Exactly right, Sandra. That means thousands of people are being forced out of their homes as now a week-long state of emergency has been called in the Australian state of New South Wales, which is the state that includes Sydney. The images coming out of the country have been terrifying. At least 17 people have been killed in these fires, and wildfire groups fear that millions of animals have been killed as well. The fires are being fueled by months of severe drought and record-setting temperatures. Of course, summertime in the southern hemisphere. An emergency period begins tomorrow because conditions are expected to worsen. Also, a weekend heat wave could make it even hotter, pushing temperatures above the 100-degree mark. The government has deployed the military, but there's been criticism that the Australian government isn't doing enough. The Prime Minister was confronted by angry homeowners today.
You're an idiot, mate. What about the people who have nowhere to live? You're not welcome, you
I understand the very strong feelings people have. They've lost everything, and there is still, some very dangerous days ahead, and we understand that, and that's why we're going to do everything we can to ensure they have every support they will need.
Fires have had far-reaching consequences. This is New Zealand. The snow on the mountains, the glaciers, the sky there have all turned this eerie color of brown. So crews will be dropping water in the morning to try to get more of the fire under control. Their main goal to prevent the fires from merging, because there are several of them right now, but really no controlling the weather that I mentioned. Dozens of firefighters from the U.S., by the way, are headed to Australia to try to help. We'll keep monitoring it. Sandra, back to you.
Yeah, a very dire situation.
Yep.
Thank you, Devin. First at 4, we're also tracking other stories making headlines around the world. And new video shows Hong Kong police repeatedly removing a lawmaker's goggles and pepper spraying him. Hundreds of thousands of people packed streets for a New Year's Day protest march as the months-long pro-democracy movement now extends into 2020. Police said they arrested some 400 people for unlawful assembly and for carrying offensive weapons. Some protesters broke from the main group and attacked banks and cash machines using spray paint, hammers, even gasoline bombs. It's been a much quieter day at the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad, but the Pentagon is warning Iran-backed militias to stay away. Violent protesters left the U.S. Embassy in Iraq yesterday. This is after 2 days of angry demonstrations. Protesters there were angry over U.S. strikes against the militias in Iraq and Syria. More U.S. troops have been sent to the embassy. The situation leaves a weakened Iraqi government trapped in the middle of rising tensions between the U.S. and Iran. And in Japan, prosecutors have searched the Tokyo residence of former Nissan CEO Carlos Ghosn after he fled the country. They hope to find documents or possibly some other information about how he was able to sneak out while he was supposed to be under 24-hour surveillance. Ghosn claims he's the victim of political persecution in Japan and is also planning a news conference in Beirut next Wednesday. Closer to home, a former member of the Detroit Youth Choir is spreading her musical wings, ready to win some new fans. The choir member turned rapper talked to our Kim DeJulio, and she says her time with the choir inspired her to follow her dreams.
The Detroit Youth Choir stole our hearts on last season of America's Got Talent. And now one member of the choir is working to steal our hearts again, but this time on her own.
The lyrics to High Hopes aren't too different than Jayla Small's real-life story.
Hey, I'm a girl, I'm a female rapper, and you don't see it quite too often.
After 3 years with DYC, she performed her last performance with them last month in New York on The Today Show. Last spring, Jayla graduated from Renaissance High School and now calls herself Indigo Yaj, a name she came up with by combining her sister's name and her own.
Indigo Yaj is it's 2 parts of me, but it's 100% of who I am.
And now she just released her very first EP called Indie.
They say that they sorry, they ain't really sorry. Say I'm the best, but they hate me regardless.
Indie is basically just kind of telling you what's on my mind. you know, after going through all these years, you know, of being in DYC, being a teenager, like, and just in general.
While Jayla has always had a knack for rapping, she said it was the choir's director, Anthony White, who gave her the platform to practice rapping in front of other people.
Mr. White was actually the first person to let me actually go somewhere on a platform and rap. My first performance rapping like by myself was like in the basement of a church, and it was because of Mr. White.
Anthony White also let her write some of the rap lyrics that you saw the team perform on their AGT run. Jayla's days with DYC may be over, but she has new things to focus on. She's a freshman at Southern University at Baton Rouge, studying marketing with a minor in music. Something tells us it won't be long until she makes a name for herself in the South too, but always sticking with those Detroit roots.
There are always like different clubs and stuff that let you, you know, do open mics and perform there. So I'm definitely going to try to take that to my advantage.
Jayla says she's sad her days as a Detroit Youth Choir member are over, but she's excited to head back to college in a few weeks and have more time to focus on her studies and her music career. I'm Kim DeJulio, Local 4.
And you can find Jayla's new EP on any streaming platform, including YouTube. And of course, we wish her continued success. Still ahead, smokers not wanted, a big company launching a new hiring policy. We're going to talk about that in Trending Stories. But first, the doc is here and he's going to join us. Hi, Doc.
Hey, Sandra. You know, many of us struggle to make sense of nutritional labels on the foods we eat. I'll show you some changes that might help. Also, we'll talk about this x-ray that shows a popular Christmas present that ended up inside a 7-year-old boy. Good Health is next.
All right, Doc, but up first, a woman runs to a stranger's door to try to get help, but a man is close behind. We're going to show you the video, and police just released new information about an arrest.